All right, guys, so I am here with Michael. He is helping me out. We're doing a practice game for the upcoming Cherokee Open in a couple days. So he is being kind enough to give me a practice game. We are playing Secure Missing Artifacts. For secondaries, I'm taking Warp Ritual, Raise Banners, and Behind Enemy Lines. Michael is taking Oath of Moment, Shock Tactics, and Codex Warfare. He's playing his Iron Hands. Michael, can you give us a quick rundown of your list?
So I'm playing Iron Hand Successor Chapter with Whirlwind of Rage and Master Artisans. I've got the character Dreadnought over here with the Warlord trait, 5-up Feel No Pain.
Okay.
Obviously, I've got a bunch of dreads sitting here. I've got my Tech Marine to buff them. I have my Librarian, and I'm going to use the Iron Hands Disciplines to give a extra +1 to save to something, and I can make a Dreadnought hit, a +1 to hit in both melee and combat. That's most of my damage, and then I've got some units to hold objectives. I've got a little bit of speed in to maybe late game take something, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, so like I said, guys, we are doing Secure Missing Artifacts. So this is the one where we each get to move 2 objectives 6 inches, and then we each pick a primary for each other. So here's the board. There's my blob, as per usual. Behind its L, I've got a forward deploying unit of Striking Scorpions. Here, forward deploying unit of Rangers right there. And then the rest of my army is here, except for I've got a unit of Warp Spiders and Deep Strike, 6 Harlequins inside the Star Weaver, and 2 units of 5 Banshees inside the Wave Serpent that's in my blob here. So with that, I picked this objective for Michael's tertiary, and then he picked this one for me. And I think that is everything for pregame. So Michael, you ready to roll off for turn 1?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it. I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 6.
Michael rolled a 6. This is the first time you're going first against me, I think maybe ever?
Yes, not what I wanted.
All right. Good luck. Let's have fun.
Good luck.
All right, buddy. All right, guys. So we just finished my turn 1. We decided, because I'm trying to get practice for Cherokee, and me going second against Oath of Moment Space Marines was going to be good for me. I wanted Mike to go ahead and take second turn just to make it a little tougher on me. So that's what we did. So with that, I advanced my Harlequins to here. I just pushed my transports in there. That's got the Banshees inside. The Striking Scorpions are still hanging out there. I cast Protect on them just to make them really hard to deal with, because they're in cover, plus Protect puts them on a 1-up. The rest of the stuff that stayed back here just pushed into the pocket. The Harlequins disembarked, went across, charged and killed his snipers, and then curtain-falled back into the Star Weaver. My Warp Spiders jumped from here to there. My Viper moved there just for further positions for next turn to get behind enemy lines. I cast Warp Ritual with my Bike Seer that was there. He went over, did some wounds also with Storm of Whispers, and then I quickened him back. So yeah, that's really it. As far as the score goes, I got 1 warp, and I forgot to mark my tertiary, which I did get for 3 points, so I'll do that here in a second. It's Michael's turn, and we'll see you in a little while. All right, guys, so we just finished up Mike's turn 1. He scored his 3 on tertiary. He got 4 on Oath because he charged his unit that was here into my Star Weaver and killed them. So he's got a unit within 6. He didn't fall back, and he killed a vehicle, so that scores him 4 for Oath. When the transport died, it did explode. It is baby explosion, so it only does 1 wound, so it killed a wounded Marine, and then I lost 1 Harlequin on the disembark. And that is it. We're on to my turn 2. I've got 8 CP in the bank. How much do you have, Mike?
I have 4.
All right, here we go. All right, guys, so we just finished my turn 2. I scored 12 on primary. I got the tertiary. I got my second Warp Ritual, 2 on banners and behind enemy lines, with my Viper right there. The reason the Viper is there because he absorbed the possible Overwatch from my Yinkarn. The Yinkarn then teleported away to here when the Harlequins finished off the 3 intercessors that were in the middle of the table. Some warp spiders came down and got shot up. These guys that were already on the table that jumped out did a little bit of screening just to stop the aggressors from getting too deep into my zone. And that is where I'm at. The Yinkarn popped the Dreadnought that was standing there and then teleported away. And there you go. All right, guys, so we just finished up Mike's turn 2. Here's the score for the turn. He got 4 points on Oath. He got Shock Tactics and 1 for Codex, which is worth what, Mike? 2 points. We'll just keep track of the notches and add them up at the end of the game. He scored nothing on primary and he did not get the tertiary because I was able to Yinkarn over to his priority target and deny that Dreadnought from scoring him 3 points. He did pop my Wave Serpent and my Banshees spilled out. I rolled 2-1, so I got to pull 1 from each unit, putting them on hitting 2 on 2s because they're Ynnari. He did charge with his aggressors and killed my Rangers, pulling down my banner and putting me on a 4-point primary for the turn. I have some morale, I think, for one of those Warp Spider teams here in a sec, which we haven't done. And we're gonna start my turn here in a second, which is gonna put me on 9 CP. I gotta do Fate Dice, and I think Mike's gonna be at 2 CP, is that right?
That is correct.
All right, here we go. So we just finished up my turn 3. I scored 4 on primary. I got the tertiary, I got my final Warp Ritual. I got 1 on banners, and I have 2 units or more in his deployment zone with that single Warp Spider and the Yinkarn. So I got 4 on behind enemy lines. I've got a ton of CP. Mike's got, what do you got for CP, bud?
4 now.
4, so he's got plenty as well right now. My Banshees spilled out of the out of the Wave Serpent when he destroyed it, and I lost 1 from each unit, which is perfect because that puts them hitting on 2s with the Ynnari. So then they, in my turn, charged the Marines that were chilling right there. The other team came over here and killed the aggressors. And because I fell back with my Viper, leaving me with 3 Warlocks and a Viper against his 4 aggressors. So then I moved my single Warp Spider on there to have model superiority and drop a banner. The Harlequins spilled through here and then killed the Dreadnought. The Yinkarn was here at the beginning of the turn, so she jumped over and did a charge. She was gonna do a multi, but we pulled just a few of his suppressors so that there was no longer a multi available. So, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we just went straight into the single suppressor, and then I consolidated into the Dreadnought just to take away his shooting for the turn. Now it looks like Mike has moved away from combat, probably a wise idea. My Viper did a multi into the Dreadnought and the Land Speeder to take away any Overwatch so that the Harlequins could charge in safely. And now they're chilling in the forest, benefiting from that -1 to hit. Hopefully it will make a difference. And we're on to bottom of battle round 3, Mike's turn 3. Here we go. All right, guys, so we just finished up Mike's turn 3. He got 2 kills for Codex Warfare for 4 points. He got Shock Assault, and he did Oath for 2 points because he's in the middle with something right there. Yeah, the Land Speeder, which was over there. He also got his 3-point tertiary. He annihilated my Harlequins, which sent my Yinkarn from over there to here. He did his order of operations out of sync, so I decided to let him go ahead and shoot because I teleported. That took away all of his shots from the Dreadnought over there and his Tech Marine. So we decided to go ahead and let him take those shots because that would have been really bad, but then I managed to make a good amount of saves. His Meltas only did 3 wounds, and then I made all 3 of my Invils. So that was unfortunate for Mike. This is where we are on the battlefield. It looks like I'm gonna score 12 on primary because I'm holding 1, 2, 3 objectives. And this will be top of turn 4. All right, guys, so we just finished up my turn 4. I scored 12 on primary. I scored the tertiary for holding that objective over there, which I just realized I nudged my warp spider off.
Whoops.
Sorry about that. And the warlocks just moved into the middle. The banshees charged the land speeder that was right there and killed it. The banshees that were in the middle of the table moved over here and with some psychic help took out the dreadnought. The Yinkarn killed the eradicators. And my venom left combat just to get behind enemy lines right there. And that is my turn. We're on to Mike's top or bottom of turn 4. I put him on 0 on primary, but that's all we've got so far. So we'll see what ends up happening. All right, guys, so we just finished up Mike's turn 4, and at this point, it seemed like we should go ahead and call the game. So on his turn 4, he got 0 on primary. He didn't score the tertiary because I kept on pushing him back into his corner, so he just could not get to this objective. He did get 2 more heavy weapon kills for Codex Warfare. Couldn't get shock because, again, he's just too deep in his corner. So he wasn't able to do anything with that. But he did score a couple more points on Oath. So final, the primary was a real killer. I kept on just pushing him into his corner the whole game to take that primary away from him, and kept on chasing him off of this objective to take away the tertiary as well. So that was pretty devastating. So for the final, Mike got 10 on primary, 30 points on secondaries, 10 points on paint for a total of 50. And then I got 45 on primary, 12 on warp ritual. I raised a final banner in the middle just to get an extra point at the end of the game. So that puts banners at 8, which is kind of not great. And then behind enemy lines, I was in his zone the whole time. So I ended up getting 3 on turn 2, and then turn 3, 4, and 5 was 4 points. Here's the state of the game at the end. Banshee's on his objective over there. This guy's hanging out over here. And the Farseer just chilling in the corner. Warp Spider on the objective because Mike was gracious enough to let me bump him back into place. And that is everything. One thing that happened, Mike forgot his order of operations again, and so it gave my Yinkarn another opportunity to teleport away when the Viper got killed by that dreadnought, which made it so that this guy had no shot because I was able to position it just right so that he had no arc. But we went ahead and just let him take his shots anyway because this is practice for me, not him. Well, no, he wants to practice too, but I don't want the game to go that way for him. So we ended up doing a little rewind and letting him take his shots. Sadly, it was not enough to kill the Yinkarn anyway. So, looks like we've got something going on.
Amber alert.
Well, that was horrible timing. All right, so with that is the end. Mike, can you give me any thoughts on the final of the game? I know that you're not happy with yourself about how you handled the Yinkarn a couple times, but aside from that, if you were talking about how things went over here with your aggressors, you felt good about how that was going. I think you're correct on that. Just pushing into my zone, giving me choices to make. Anything else that you wanted to say?
So I made twice. I made mistakes order operations with the not shooting at the Yinkarn first. That I wasn't happy with.
You'll never make that mistake again, though, I bet.
No, I won't make that mistake again. The second time I made it, I might have made it because the game was done and
you were just going through the rolls
to see what I could pick up for Codex Warfare and points.
Yep.
I was happy with the way I pushed forward. At this point, I thought I played a good game with the tools I had. I'm going to talk to Nate about it after because he's a lot more experienced player than I am. See what he has to say. I think that I would have to change some of the tools I have to contest this. If I sit on the primaries, he's too good with movement. He's too nasty. He kills me off the primary. I can't overload the primary because if I overload the primary with models to try to hold it, that just gives him a target-rich environment and he's going to wipe my army out faster. So that's the real struggle, is trying to hold primary, how I go about doing it. But I actually thought I played a good game, so I was happy with it. I had fun.
Cool, man.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out. Thanks for giving me that practice game. Really appreciate it. Hopefully it'll help me out at Cherokee. We'll see you guys on the next one.